All right, everybody, welcome to Inside Area 51. We've got a few special announcements that we want to make this week, and of course, to take your questions for our Ask Area 51 segment as well. Reminder that it is being live streamed right now on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. So on any one of those channels, you are able to jump in and comment as well. We will be able to see those comments and be able to answer any questions that you have. So first, we do want to just kind of quickly introduce everybody here. We've got, of course, Malcolm and Hassan coming back on. We have two newbies as well from the newest Area 51 podcast that has just joined us, the Third Line podcast. We have Adam and Chris. How are you guys doing so far today?
Not too bad. Beautiful day.
I was just going to say, it looks beautiful where you are. You're in your car right now.
Yeah. Sitting in front of the liquor store waiting to grab a six-pack and go sit on my deck.
Nice. The
COVID protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my shopping already earlier this morning. I hit the liquor store for that exact reason too. So that's great. Yeah. So, I mean, of course, I don't want to get too far into everything here before quickly addressing the allegations that have come out against Jake Virtanen I guess the last 24 hours here. I just want to briefly touch on it. I don't have a whole lot to say, but obviously the allegations are absolutely horrific and were incredibly hard to read. So out of respect for the victim, it's not our place to tell or share her story, nor to make any assumptions about the process that is going on, because we are a third-party bystander for this. So we hope that the survivor of these events is able to receive the support necessary, and people can respect our decision to wait and see what happens as a result of the process that's going on right now. Far too often, sexual assault goes unreported, but the best way to change that is to support people that come forward with their experiences with abuse, so that more people may feel comfortable coming out with their stories as well, and that those abusers can be held accountable for those actions. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. Obviously,
Very well
just
said,
kind of hope for the best for that. So, yeah, but we do have some exciting things that we wanted to share going forward. Third Line podcast has joined the network, and we're thrilled to be able to bring that WHL coverage to Area 51 on the website there. So why don't you guys just briefly touch on some of the things that your podcast does, or tell us about your show for anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to listen to it yet.
Which one of us? You want Adam to take that one, or
whoever can take it? Yeah.
So we're excited at the Third Line podcast to be joining the Area 51 Sports Network. Now, what we do is we do something a little bit different. We've noticed that there seems to be a lack of WHL content out there. And as many people know, the WHL is crucial to the NHL success. There are quite a few successful WHL players. The Vancouver Canucks have quite a few former WHL players on them. So what we wanted to do is, since we all write for a WHL driven website, we wanted to bring some content to that. So what we'll do is we have 2 writers down in the States, and then we have me and Chris up here in BC. And every episode will start off by touching on what's going on in the WHL, what the specific teams that we cover are up to, and then we'll start to focus on a WHL themed topic. And then we'll move that into a generalized topic or an NHL topic. But the main focus of our show is to provide that WHL update for people that may not be following along with the WHL, but still want to get that little update once in a while on what's going on.
Perfect. No, I think it's great timing, especially I know I'm in Kamloops, so I love going to the Blazers games. That hasn't been something that we've been able to enjoy through COVID, obviously. So it's nice to be able to still get that coverage, see what's happening with the team, because I know probably not a lot of people have the WHL live and are able to stream the games. So it's nice to be able to get that update. And more people are engaged and interested in the draft, especially as Canuck fans. Unfortunately, that's oftentimes what we're looking forward to at the end of the year. So here we are yet again, looking forward to the draft. So
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's perfect to get that kind of insight from you guys there. Excited to have you join our network. So yeah, another announcement that we have, we'll kind of pump through them here quick, is that we are now sponsored by Bench Clears. They are our new presenting sponsor. So in case you haven't heard of Bench Clears before, they make these beautiful tanks. They're all NHL licensed tanks. They also have added shorts now to their merchandise. They do have bench clearers stuff as well. If you like t-shirts, they even have flags, hats, anything like that. But they're famous for these tanks. They're really light, breathable, beautiful for the summer weather that's coming very quickly upon us here. So you're still able to rep your team all year round. Doesn't have to be a jersey. You're able to represent with a sleeveless tank as well. So excited to have them join.
Now that we seemingly have playoffs, or at least we'll get to celebrate playoffs in the summer, it's a little hard putting on those jerseys sometimes to get ready for a game. I feel you're sweating your ass off. So it's nice to have an officially merchandised option.
Yeah, man, I was sweating my balls off last year in the playoffs having the jersey on. I felt like I needed to represent. Here I am at home. I'm not able to go to the games. I'm not able to do anything. This is how I show my support. And jerseys are wicked heavy when it's, plus 40 outside. So nice to have something that breathes a little bit better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we do have some more stuff on the way. That's just one item in my personal collection that I had. So waiting for our some more of our merch to come in so we can show that off a little bit better. I can't wait for the shorts, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that might be the one that I'm most excited about.
I'm getting a pair of shorts for sure. They look sick.
Yeah, like they've got for the Canucks stuff, they've got the skate logo on the shorts as well, so that if you get both, you have a kind of a matching set. But so that'll be me. I'll be rocking out the matching set for sure.
Yeah. You can be ready for a ball hockey tournament.
Oh yeah. No, I've got my rollerblades ready. I'm going for sure. I've been dying to play, so obviously probably not going to be playing much hockey, but I'll be
Sean
skating
versus
around.
Caleb. We should get that going.
I think
he'll
I'm
light us up.
I need to sit in the sun for a few more hours before I can rock one of those. It'd be scary, I think, right now.
That's the nice thing about being alone right now. Eh? You can really just rock it out. No one's around to judge you.
Yeah. It'd be very fitting for the whole Area 51 theme, though. It'd look like an alien, so it'd be great.
Somebody feel like they're getting abducted by your thighs. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's me too. Like, even if I was out in the sun often, I'd either be bright red, so I'd like match portions of the jersey, or I'd be like neon white, like blindingly white. It's a delicate balance. It's unfortunate for me.
I was in a wedding in Mexico, and all the photographs of me were in black and white because I got so burnt. That's how white I am.
Yeah,
awesome.
I feel that. Okay, now that you say that, now I got to go find a picture of. I have a picture on my Instagram, and I would normally just share it, but I think my account's private. But I've got, this is me in or after Haiti, I guess. So this is.
Normally these don't pay off, but normally Sean's do.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Sean, I think
That's
off is not the move.
you know what's funny is I look like I'm still wearing a tank in that picture.
Yeah, until you really zoomed it in, I thought you were. Yeah. The move there, Sean, was to put another shirt on, not to take one off. I don't know. Were you just like,
I was like, I gotta like balance it out again.
Even it out, eh?
Yeah, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. I just get like
wrong instinct.
Blisters red, right? So
I'll have to I'll throw a picture on the group chat there. I went to Hawaii a few years back, and terrible mistake, forgot to bring sunscreen, and my girlfriend's like all holistic nutrition stuff. She's like, "Oh, use coconut oil. It works for me." It was like the episode of Seinfeld when Kramer puts butter on himself and goes on the roof. I ended up with like 2nd-degree burns. I was blistered, and it was the 2nd day of a 1.5-week trip in Hawaii, so that was fun.
Oh God! Yeah.
Coconut butter is that's supposed to help you tan faster, not like sunscreen. Yeah, that's
you now know that. Yeah.
I'm never trusting her again with any holistic nutrition stuff.
Yeah, you're like, no. Keep your trail mix.
I'll keep my chemicals. The chemicals work.
Yeah. I need like SPF 1 billion. So unfortunately. I burned myself once so bad. I was in grade 7, and we were doing like a grad from elementary school. So we went to a lake for that. And I had swam like all day in this lake. And it was actually a nice day for where I grew up. So I had burned myself literally from the bottoms of my feet to the top of my head. I was completely red. Like that was my new skin color was neon red.
I'm sure we have an episode named after this.
Yes.
Don't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we had sunburned knees, I think, because I burned my kneecaps last summer. Only my knees. Everything else pure white, but my knees are red. So it's it's a problem.
You're a very special boy, Sean.
Yeah, that's what my mother tells me.
Yeah.
So. Oh man. All right, well, let's jump into some questions because we do have the game at 4:00 tonight or this afternoon. So I don't want to get too close to that. Of course, the Canucks playing the Leafs again, where I don't know. Do we expect retribution for Alex Edler? Probably not.
When does the cycle end?
Well,
that's the problem.
Simmons is fighting Edler because he's standing up for Hyman. Now someone's got to fight Simmons because they're standing up for Edler. When does it end?
Then whoever.
I like the I like to tweet us out today. Someone said Michael Bublé has to fight Justin Bieber now.
That would actually be entertaining.
Yeah.
See, it's too bad that we don't have Ryan Miller still on the team. He doesn't mind us
True,
standing up
yeah.
for his teammates versus the Leafs.
That's
Well,
right.
I was
That's
just
a
going to
Ryan
say,
Miller.
if we were going to see retribution for Edler, we would have seen it right away. We would have seen it in that game.
yeah.
Right? Like, I think, it was Hyman. They found out the injury took Hyman out for a significant amount of time. So now they felt like, they really needed their extra pound of flesh. The code, I don't know if we really want to get into the code and all the, is it more like guidelines? I think, again, I had a perfect little GIF there to really sum it up.
Yes.
But, it is what it is. I don't know if I really don't think we're going to see a pushback. And if we do, it'll be like.
Yeah.
I think the Canucks are happy to have, washed their hands of this and just ready to move on, to be honest, based on, what we saw, Edler drop the gloves like sort of begrudgingly. And, I think that's just, that's that. So I don't think we're going to be seeing anything else.
Well, shout out to Edler for dropping the gloves. Like, he really didn't need to, in my mind.
Drop the gloves is probably a strong word. I think he carefully took them off and placed them on the ice is more accurate.
Yes,
Was that dropping the gloves?
It felt like he was like taking those gloves off where you like pull them one finger at a time, and
it was very clear it was a 35-year-old man's first fight.
Yeah.
Right.
At least he got to cross it off the bucket list. Now he can retire and say, I got in a fight in the NHL.
Yeah.
Because up until then, I think it was Daniel Sedin had more fights than him because he had fought once in his career too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean, I equated to that.
Text them every night about that.
Yes, they're like, you weenie, don't even get in a fight your whole career.
See, what I like is the Leafs fans' dedication to prove that Edler is the most dangerous player to ever play the game. Like, I saw a 3-minute video of all the like questionable hits that Edler has ever made in his career, and I'm like, have you met Alex Edler? Like, he doesn't like. He's like the quietest guy in the world. Like,
that's the weird thing to me. Like, there's like, we're the Canucks. We've had lots of dirty players play for us, like Burrows, Kessler. There's lots. Why are you picking on Alex Edler of all guys? You're gonna pick on the Canucks.
I know, but like in a storied history of Burrows, Kessler, Torres, Lapierre, Brashear, Cook,
Matt Cook. Yeah.
We're gonna vilify Alex Edler. Okay.
The only thing that became clear from that whole thing is just how unglued Leafs Twitter is. And if at any point anyone goes, the Canucks Twitter is worse, Exhibit A on just a tire fire. And it was actually pretty entertaining. And of course, more entertaining than the game, I think, really. Just totally. The shitstorm of, I don't know if it's a Toronto thing, but I'm pretty confident that in Toronto, the worst insult you can ever have or accuse someone of is of crying. That is their number one go-to, like, crying.
Rent-free.
Oh my God. I'm like, what? like and it's not just like once, it's time and time again. And then you respond and they just cry again. Like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing over there, but apparently that cuts a lot deeper in Toronto than it does here in Vancouver, because I just am like, is that really the best you got? Give me something a little bit more creative. Like, at least the riot jokes inspire some creativity. This is just boring.
Yeah, all the comments are like, why don't you guys go burn down your city again?
Yeah.
Like,
at least that's tailored to Vancouver. As much as it's unoriginal, at least it's a Vancouver burn.
Exactly, right? Like, rock bottom of intelligence and jokes here, but that's the level of cry as far as a response. Like, at least you're giving us something here with a riot joke, like, and we all know how poor those are.
Yeah, right.
My favorite thing about it though is that they can't even really diss, like, oh well, the Bruins beat you 2011. Because the Bruins beat them every single year in the first round. So at least we got to the finals before we got beat by them. So
next time I'm going to be like, how old were you in 2003, the last time they won a series? Like, do you even remember what it's like to win a playoff round?
Yeah, most probably don't.
I wouldn't be stunned if a ton of the people that you're talking to literally have never consciously remembered seeing a Leafs playoff win.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like
people
somebody I
driving
know.
around in the GTA who have
Yeah.
never, like, can't even remember, like, the Leafs being good, really.
Well, this is the peak. This is the best they've ever seen it.
Well, I have
Yeah.
a friend who's in Montreal who once said, "Well, at least the Montreal Canadiens have won a cup," and I'm like, like you weren't even born before they won a cup. You've never seen them win the cup. Like you have no argument here at all. Like you were born.
I was literally
like,
born the year that they last
Yeah.
won the cup. So
Yeah, to me, the actual burn behind
oh dang it, we
He's gotta
lost
make
him.
a-
feels.
That
gonna
was,
make a
that
quick
was looking good too.
That was looking good, yeah.
We missed it.
Oh, God. I don't know if it's my internet, but I'm bugging out every once in a while. But to me, again, the burn here is
Oh, again. 2 in a row.
done it again.
Yeah, as soon as you go like this,
as
it's
soon as
just-
like
I
this,
try to
it's
do
over.
it, eh?
yeah,
I'm not
The
getting
burn
the spot
is-
out. The internet
the-
is censoring me.
yeah.
The burn is.
I'm like on pins and needles.
Fuck, yeah. The burn is that you've never got to actually experience winning a cup. That you don't know the rush of actually having that, ecstasy release of winning a cup, participating in the parade route, all those kind of things. It's not being able to look back at your history and, well, my grandfather actually, was there and read in the newspaper the next day that they won a cup. Like, who cares?
Like, oh, you would never guess what happened last night, honey. The Montreal Canadiens won the cup again. That's great. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, to me, it's like
we're
it sucks that
2021 now.
I've never got to walk down Georgia and parade and celebrate that cup win. That's what sucks. Like not that I can look back in a history book and go like, well, guess what? In this black and white photograph.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it was funny because this year I had kind of, I guess, like I've been kind of indifferent to the Leafs for a long time. Like I just really, they don't bother me. I don't care enough about them. But so like this year, it was kind of like, you know what? There's a lot of nice storylines that would happen if the Leafs were to win a cup. Like Jumbo would get his Stanley Cup. I would never have to hear about the stupid Canada drought ever again, because that is so annoying to see every year. Who's gonna break the drought? Like, I don't care. I'm a Canuck fan. I'm not a Canada fan. Like, but after this, I'm like, nope. You know what? I don't care. Nope. I don't want you to win it. I hope the Habs destroy you in round one. We could just kind of laugh about how even in a pandemic season that gives you unprecedented chances to win the Stanley Cup, you still can't make it past the first round. That's what I kind of hope for now. So,
well, that begs the question then. If you're off the Leaf train, then would you rather see Boston win it this year or Toronto win it this year?
Oh, neither.
Honestly, I don't care who wins the Stanley Cup if the Canucks don't win it. Like, to be honest, like I really couldn't care less. Like, people are like, oh, like this team needs to win it. Like, if the Stanley Cup wasn't handed out this year, wouldn't care.
You're like, just nix the season.
I think I've said this before,
over.
but to me, it's a degree of, I love the Canucks, and then every other team, it's a degree to which I hate them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
of course, to me, yeah. So, like, there are teams that I hate less, but of course, unless it's the Canucks winning the cup, I don't want any other team to win the cup. So, I begrudgingly, go, okay, well, there's a story here, or, I hate this team less than I hate that team. So, I support, this team when I'm watching the games kind of thing, because you kind of need to, pick a side when you're watching a game.
Or you're going to gamble on it.
Or you gamble on it. If you don't know what team you're really supporting, just sit down and start watching the game, and you'll find out pretty quickly. Like, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I really know who I support. And like 5 minutes into the game, you're like, no, fuck these guys. Right?
Yeah, your heart chooses
at least
for
me.
you.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes very clear very quickly. So,
well, I think,
and then I also have the.
Yeah,
I hate all the other Canadian teams. Just real quick. So and to me, again, the onslaught, the consequences of another Canadian team winning the cup. And what I'm talking about here is the fallout on Twitter of we were the team to break the curse. I don't want that for any of them. I don't. That's too nice a gift. So I very much do not want any other Canadian team to win the Cup. So, Adam, as hard as it is to say, I do have a clear answer on that, and I would be cheering for Boston over the Leafs.
Ooh.
Again,
Spicy.
And
Spicy.
of course, I do want the Canadians or whoever it is in the first round to beat the Leafs. Like, no matter who it is, I'll definitely be supporting that team, whoever it is, versus the Leafs. Huge Columbus Blue Jacket fan last bubble. Huge.
Oh man,
Love the
they were
BJs.
fantastic. Yeah. I was all in on the Torts wagon for Columbus last year. Yeah, like I think for me, like the last time I was happy for a winner.
Just clip that.
The last time I was happy.
The last time I was happy.
I can't remember.
When was that? I would say probably when the Caps won it, because I was happy for Ovi, right? Like aside from that, like.
Well, and if you didn't enjoy the Ovi celebration, then you
I loved that. Like I was
watching
all in
next 48 or whatever plus hours of his Instagram was just perfect.
See,
I
I
don't
was
think
happy-
I've ever enjoyed a Cup win like that.
I was
Yeah,
just
I
happy
didn't know
that
it would come
Vegas
back.
didn't win
Yeah.
it in their first year because they were
first year.
literally
I-
handed a team.
We're
And
gonna
they
get
couldn't
along
even
well,
have-
Adam.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that as a Canucks fan. Be like, we waited 50 years for this. These guys are coming in, winning it in their first try. This is not right.
I know.
To me,
Like,
again,
pay your
it
dues.
just kind of like made a bit of a joke of the league that a team could come in first.
Oh my god. I think we got
But
the
I missed
point though.
the handle. Sorry, the tweet that came up. Again, if a Leafs fan ever tries to use that, well, we've won a cup and you haven't, go ahead and send them the picture of the Vancouver Millionaires winning their cup. That one is just as legitimate as any of theirs.
Before World War One.
Yeah, like who? Literally, if that's meaningful to you, then it's the same thing as any of your cup, Leafs cup wins. So.
Oh yeah, then Ottawa's got cups. Everybody's got cups, right?
Yeah,
Like the only team that
old-
wouldn't have cups is Winnipeg. That's it for Canada.
Those old cups are meaningless.
Yeah,
The ring's not even on the Stanley Cup anymore.
Yeah.
yeah. They're just holding the literal cup at that point. They're like, same
They
thing,
were.
guys. Yeah. Like, come on. Yeah, it's a tad different now. Like if you win in a soon-to-be 32-team league in the modern era, there's so much more bragging rights to that than. That doesn't even need to be said. Like that's just so
I mean,
obvious.
you could even almost narrow it down to post-cap. Like pre-cap, when teams could just spend their way out of problems, and obviously the huge market teams had budgets 10 times the sizes of the small ones. Like almost those ones at least at this point. Like again, obviously if you experience one of those, you'd have the rush. But like again, it's to me, it's even at that point almost that recent that it's that much more impressive to win a cup in the actual cap era when there's this at least perceived levelized playing field.
That's why I feel like Pittsburgh is like probably like the team that you would look at and be like, that's like probably the most impressive because they won 3 cups within the cap era. It's the sort of the same.
Blackhawks too.
Core, but Blackhawks as well. Like I was in Chicago, Pittsburgh would probably be the team there. I'd be like, pretty much the same sort of players and cap structure and the teams were there wasn't just 6 teams in the NHL.
Exactly.
And as much as I hate to say it, the Chicago one is even more impressive than the Pittsburgh one because Pittsburgh was truly gifted Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
And how many first, Malkin, of course, after Ovechkin, but let's pretty much call that a first overall pick. Jordan Stahl, Fleury, they just had like a real run of first overall picks there. He was a later round pick.
He was,
actually.
He was, yeah.
But
but Chicago had Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Duncan Keith.
sure.
Those are
again,
Marian Hossa.
right? They acquired Hossa.
Yeah, so
Patrick Kane was
did
a first
Pittsburgh.
overall pick, but Taves was a third overall pick, and certainly not
third overall is like a high-end draft pick. Like if you should be
no
getting,
doubt, but it wasn't a first overall lottery pick win that the Pittsburgh ones were.
Well, especially the Crosby one, because the Crosby one was like,
I mean, yeah, the Crosby
after
truly fell out of the
lockout,
sky.
it was completely, it was a complete lotto win.
Yeah, completely random.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
was
like
going to
he
say
was
random,
supposed
and
to
I was like,
relocating.
no.
Generational talent. Completely random.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. I think if it was completely random, he probably would have ended up in Anaheim. But
yeah, and that's also part of it too. To me, and so like the number of gifts that Pittsburgh got versus Chicago.
Would you guys put LA in that mix because they had the back-to-back, obviously, within that sort of, and they
the 2012,
highest
2014
highest end player was probably Doughty, I guess, maybe Kopitar, right?
Yeah.
They weren't
Jonathan Quick.
super high, Quick, but these guys weren't super high draft picks either, right? So
Yeah,
really, just Kopitar was because Doughty was because he was
Doughty
second
was
overall.
Doughty was 2. Kopitar, of course, was 11.
it was like 11, but like these weren't as like they weren't firster,
And with your hockey
top
hugs.
5 picks.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think that's pretty
2
impressive.
cups versus 3.
Yeah, of course.
That's the only reason.
And a
of course,
shorter
I put
time
Chicago ahead.
period as well. They just got into back-to-back and pretty much sort of fell off after that.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like 3-year window.
Yeah.
Well, that's also a team that had like prime Mike Richards, prime Jeff Carter on their teams, Alec Martinez.
Yes, yeah.
Like those were stacked teams in LA.
Absolutely.
Trade acquisitions.
If you
too.
acquire
It's
those
amazing.
players, then full props to that.
Especially I have massive props for the Jeff Carter one because that was a trade deadline.
That was a huge trade.
That's unbelievable. When was the last time that you've seen like a trade acquisition of the stature of a Jeff Carter that goes on to be that successful? Like I don't think there's been
at the deadline. Yeah, not really.
Any.
You don't see like it's so hard to move like high end star players at the deadline. Like you see that's pretty much impossible to for trades like that to happen in the middle of the season, right?
Yeah.
Like they always are at the draft, and then then it's not the same as making that trade on the deadline, and then 3 months later you're winning the Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, like if you're looking at this year, the only player that would even come to that level is probably Taylor Hall if Boston somehow pulls it off. Like there was no, there were like
That'd
no
be
huge
probably
trades
the
this
closest.
year.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the other one that I would add to that is Mantha to Washington.
Oh, yeah.
If Washington was able to make some damage there, Mantha's a pretty big pickup. But like Foligno isn't a big, in my mind, he's not a big pickup. He is.
Isn't
but he
Foligno the
isn't.
savior? He's the best player in the NHL, right? There was a whole article about how he
this
ran
kills me.
into Austin Matthews at a practice. How can he's the biggest star to ever hit Canada?
Toronto News will never not be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like what becomes newsworthy. And that was like the same day that Cole Caulfield was going to debut, and I forget what else. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening, and it was the big story. The headline story was that Foligno and Matthews collided in practice, but everybody's all good. Like don't worry about it. I don't know. Okay, so we do have some other questions here, part of our Ask Area 51 segment. So we do have as well, like anytime that you want, you can on Twitter, hashtag AskA51. Those questions will show up on our website on the homepage. So if you ask those, they'll show up there and they could be part of our Inside Area 51 segment show that will be a weekly show going forward. What we're kind of going to do with this is going to be a little bit different than we have done in the past. We're going to just showcase one podcast at a time. I just found it was incredibly difficult to give every podcast the due attention that I felt everyone deserves. Whereas now we can kind of go week by week and showcase those things. So if you do have any questions, hashtag AskA51, and you can tailor those for either myself or for any of the hosts on the podcast that will be joining as well. So first one, we'll jump into this one because we got Ryan here that sent us a question on our YouTube channel. Do you think Taylor Hall wins the Stanley Cup? I would assume that's as early as this season with the Bruins. He's obviously had a lot of success with the Craig Smith, David Krejci line, giving them a second dynamic line. Do they go all the way?
I'm certainly not going to say they go all the way. I don't know if, Boston's been a good team for a lot of years, but thankfully, teams have found a way to beat them over a 7-game series. Obviously not the Leafs, but other teams have found a way to beat them. Sorry, of course not the Leafs. So there's still a couple other teams like Carolina, Tampa. There are some other really good teams in the East. So I still don't have them coming out of it. Of course, I could be wrong, but I'd rather be wrong betting against the Bruins than betting for them.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to say if that, Taylor Hall's going to be the one that puts them over the top. But I think secondary scoring has sort of been an issue for the Bruins in the past postseasons. They've been sort of become over reliant on the Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak line. So I think, Hall definitely, addresses a huge need for them. But I don't know if that puts them over a team like Tampa Bay, which I would say, Tampa or even the Caps, I would say, are ahead of them. Carolina, I like Carolina a lot, but I don't know if I'm ready to say that they're cup contender.
Well, I don't really like Carolina, but I respect them.
I like them as I like that. They're a good team. I think they perform well, but I don't know if I would say that they're on the precipice of winning a Stanley Cup. Soon or so.
Nice part for them is they're at the very, very beginning of their contention window. Like this is only the beginning for what will become a nightmare for the rest of the league with Carolina. In my mind, like they've done everything so superbly well.
Dark horse is Florida for me.
Yeah, Florida also another one to keep an eye on this year. Even after
Ekblad though, so
that's a big loss.
Yeah.
One team to look out for that I think the Bruins are going to have a lot of trouble with is the Islanders, because the Islanders just shut everybody down. Like, doesn't matter who you are. That when the Islanders make the playoffs or make the Stanley Cup final this year, it's going to be the most boring Stanley Cup final ever because they're just going to kill the game. It's going to be like the Minnesota Wild or like Jacques Martin, like base teams where like there was just no offense. Like it's just going to be
Lou Lamoriello Devils teams, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just going to be bad, but they're gonna make the finals, like because they're just that good.
I imagine the most boring final result would be Daryl Sutter's Flames versus Barry Trotz's and Lou Lamoriello's Islanders. There'd be like every game would end 1-0 in overtime, and that'd be pretty much it. It would just be a complete chess match.
I know,
and there'd be no entertainment value whatsoever from it. We do have another question here. I probably won't be able to get to all of them. I do kind of want to wrap up here shortly. So from Johnny Canuck Down Under, our friend Daniel is asking, how long before the Canucks should play the kids, or are we beyond that point already?
Should have been playing the kids 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah, that's a quick one for me. I'm with you guys. I think that we're well beyond that point. We should have been beyond that point a long time ago, but here we are. So,
development is the most important thing at this point.
Yeah. Well, and then we've got Stephanie asking, why are we doing this on her birthday? I would say we're doing this because of her birthday.
It was a birthday present, Stephanie. Damn.
Yeah. She was hating, but we were doing it all for her. So
I am hurt.
Yeah. We have Andy from Capspace Wins Cups. Do you think the Canucks are a PS5 or an Xbox team? I don't know. I think this is up to you guys on this one.
Well, now, aren't they like computer? Don't they play their video games on the computer?
Or are they PC gamers?
I know Pedersen has I think Pedersen has an Xbox, so I'll say Xbox just based on that.
Okay.
I saw it on his Instagram story once, so that's my logic there.
Let's face it, they probably have all three.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah. I don't think they really have to choose.
And a Switch.
Yeah, exactly. They got the VR, they've got everything. The Oculus.
See, I thought the question was what console best represents the team, and I would say like probably the Pong machine at this point. Like
just Galaga, maybe. Yeah.
What's
getting
something
shot out of the sky? Yeah.
What was a console with some like really high-end titles and then no depth?
Ooh.
It was mostly a joke, but that would be the console to sum up the Canucks.
I was trying to think of what console that would be, but I don't think that's one that I could think of. Yes. Okay, I think this one is tailored specifically for Malcolm. from Ryan as well. Thanks for all the questions, Ryan. This is awesome. Which characters from Lost are the Canucks? So, well, if you have a couple that you think,
Well, I'm
best represented
so
character.
glad that Lost is happening on my timeline again, and it like because of course pre-Twitter, so I totally would have been so down to do all tweeting these live things. So, anyways, I'm thoroughly enjoying Ryan's thread. I read every single tweet and get to like experience for the first time the show again. I fucking love it. If it's not been made clear, I'll pitch to anyone why you should be watching the show if you need to.
I still need to finish it. I still need to finish
I don't know
it.
how. Of course, I want to do this fairly quickly, and he also asked for no spoilers, so I'll give no context to the answers that I give. So hopefully, I don't spoil these at all. Jack, I think, is a good JT Miller. Sawyer is Jake. Locke is Sutter. Ben is Wisebroad. Saeed is Hughes. Jin is Erickson. Desmond is Horvat. Richard Alpert is Edler. And Jacob is Mike Gillis.
That was amazing. That was fantastic. Yeah, well, I can't think of a better spot to end on than running through that. That was fantastic. So once again, we'll just quickly wrap up. Thanks for joining us all, and a welcome to the Third Line podcast, as well as Bench Clears. For Bench Clears, we do have links on our website as well, so you can go find and shop there. Otherwise, it's pretty easy. It's benchclears.com, where then you can go and order yours today. So if you use the discount code Area51 sent me, you will get 15% off of your order as well. So, we've got one last question that we'll take this one from Andy as well. Somebody ask Myrtle why he keeps tweeting at me. I think he wants to fight. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, guys, and enjoy as much as you can, the game. Here, so.
Watch the Canucks hockey game.
Yes.
Please. We're begging you.
Pull out your high stick vodka so that you can better enjoy that hockey game. So, all right. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Later, guys.
Bye.